everyone. Imagine this, it's a Friday night and you just settled with a bowl of popcorn to watch a movie. You press play and for the next 2 hours, you're transported to a different world. A world where you might cry, laugh, think or even get inspired. But as the credits roll, the influence of that movie just doesn't leave. It stays with you, influencing how you see yourself, your relationships, and the people around you. Movies are more than just a source of entertainment, especially for the youth. They are powerful tools that actually shape our behaviors towards our dreams and aspirations. Today, I want to explore how movies influence youth in different ways, from shaping their self-image to influencing their social behaviors and also affecting their mental health. Let's start with one of the most profound ways movies influence young people, and that is by shaping self-image and identity. When we watch movies during our formative years, we often see characters and stories that reflect the aspects of ourselves, our hopes, our desires, and our dreams. This is particularly true for adolescents who are in process to figuring out who they actually are. The characters they see on the screen can actually serve as the role models throughout their life. Just as how I found that I want to be a psychologist when I saw Dr. Jahangir in Dear Zindagi. I liked how the role of psychologist wasn't just about actually solving the problem of the individuals, but also finding out their strengths and weaknesses and improving their mental health. Movies also play a motivational role in lives of young people, encouraging them to pursue their goals and overcome obstacles. When youth see characters who face challenges and still achieve their dreams, it inspires them to strive harder for their own success. Talking about success gets us to a point that how every parent wants their child to be successful. But the definition of success in our society is very bounded. It just includes careers like engineering, medical, law, or civil service. But what if I tell you that these movies actually expand the horizon of success? From making career in sports to art restoration, these movies actually help to inspire the young generations. Some movies even teach us more than these books do. They shape our personality and shows the mirror of life where real hardships would try to break our confidence and morale. Let's talk about a movie like The Pursuit of Happiness, which is a story about a man who is struggling with homelessness but is also trying to provide his son basic necessities. Watching this emotional experience unfold can actually open the eyes of many individuals, increasing their exposure to higher levels of empathy and actually help out the societies to uplift. But if we focus on this developing era of movie and TV shows, conditions have worsened, including the movie and content quality. Movies often set unrealistic expectations by portraying idealized versions of love, success, relationships, and life. These depictions can lead young generations to perceive skewed perceptions of what to expect from their life. For instance, films that depict overnight success can actually curate a false image of success in mind of youth. They can actually show that success can come without hard work, resilience, perseverance, and failures. But in reality, it's totally opposite. This gap between cinematic fantasy and reality can actually lead to distress amongst the teenagers when the perfection seen on the screen cannot be mirrored. They also increase the insecurities amongst the viewers by setting highly unrealistic beauty standards. The influence of movies on body image is very negative and extremely profound. Movies often depict idealized versions of beauty. Flawless skin, perfect bodies, and unattainable standards of fitness. For young viewers, especially those struggling with body dysmorphia or body image issues, they can struggle to appear in social settings. They start following diets and rigorous gym schedules to achieve the so-called ideal body. It just doesn't impact a person but also a society as a whole. They actively shape how young people perceive themselves and people of their own age group. Now, let me tell you an incident that took place in India almost 3 years ago. A young doctor was placed in a PHC. PHCs are basically public health centers that provide services to those who cannot afford basic hospital consultations or live too far away from the towns. One fine day, a group of villagers came to the PHC. A young girl was bitten by a snake, and antivenoms in these areas are not readily available. So, the doctor explained them the situation and asked them to arrange an ambulance. But the villagers furiously grabbed his collar and told him that we don't have any money and we won't pay you any money and we don't have enough time. So just give us the syringe and we will suck the venom out. This was apparently their innovative idea. The doctor refused to do so, obviously, because he knew that if they did this, then the girl would die within an hour. But after all the protests, they somehow managed to get the syringe and started sucking the blood out. The girl died within an hour, and the doctor could not save her life even after many struggles. That day, the villagers even threatened the doctor that he won't see the sun next morning. But doctor paid no heed and went off to sleep. That night, the villagers burnt the whole place down. A young doctor, along with all the nurses, lost their lives that night. This is a true story that happened in Murshidabad. So, where did the villagers come up with this innovative idea of sucking the blood out? If you have seen older movies or TV shows, then you might know the answer. These quackadoodle techniques are utterly stupid. Also, why did the villagers think that the doctor was money-minded if he was asking them to arrange an ambulance? Let me tell you. Apparently in a movie, when the patient was dead, doctor commented that his relatives do not know he is dead, do they? Until they have money, he is alive. This is how people have actually started to perceive all these noble careers. And now, it's not about this case. Objectifying women in inappropriate dressing or passing comments on them is another way of generating views. Before 1970s, the cases of stalking were mainly because of psychos or thieves. But after 1970s, 99% of Bollywood movies started glorifying stalking as a gesture of love. And guess what? This was actually not just limited to India, but in Australia, an Indian man faced 2 court trials when he stalked 2 Australian women, but at the end he wasn't arrested because the lawyer told that he is influenced by the Indian movies and that man was an influence of movies. And it's very normal in India. Now just imagine how the Western world would perceive our cinema. Not all movies are bad. It's just cinema is one of the greatest human inventions since sliced bread. A film that resonates with someone's special experience can provide sense of validation and emotions. For example, a young individual struggling with finding comfort can actually relate to movies like The Fault in Our Stars. However, movies can also have a negative impact on mental health. Certain films, particularly those with intense or disturbing content, can actually trigger anxiety, depression, or even PTSD in vulnerable situations. Horror movies, for example, can have heightened level of anxiety, especially in teenagers who are more impressionable than other age groups. Similarly, movies that portray graphic violence and sexual abuse can actually trigger distress and lead to nightmares and intrusive thoughts. But human can actually escape this spiral of uneasiness and dysfunction by improving the quality of life and content they consume. Movies unleash the creativity of an individual which cannot be controlled, but what we can do is educate ourselves and teach ourselves on how to draw a line between cinematic fantasy and reality. Famous director Quentin Tarantino once said, "If you just love movies enough, you can make a good one." You know what? Let me tell you a way where you would not even need a camera or any equipment to make a movie. And that movie is life. You are living in it, you are the main character, and what you need to understand is that enjoy every moment of it. Take the aspects of your favorite film characters and implement them in your life, curating it into a beautiful masterpiece. Some parts I agree would be sad, but as my favorite, Kanye West says, if you have this amazing opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment of it. A lot of people do not appreciate the moment until it's past. And do not waste every moment planning extensively for the future. Because the only way you can change the future is by living in the present. But if you're still stuck in the past, then the present time will also be wasted. Hence, all of this is entirely correlated. Imagine yourself now watching a new movie that you never heard of. And at the end, you did not get the ending the way you deserved, the way you imagined. But in this film called Life, you have the opportunity to end it however you want it. Because as John Lennon says, everything will be okay in the end. And if not, then it's not the end. So just maintain consistency and you will find the way to your success and to your peak. Because being consistent brings all the necessary skills and fosters resilience, allowing you to stay focused and motivated even when the journey gets tough. Today, I took some of your valuable time, which may not be enough for everyone, but I sincerely hope that I could make change in your life. Thank you so much and have a great day.